Live from New York, it's Friday morning.
Woo!
Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of Ridiculously Professional. It's the unconventional business show, not for the people who've made it, for the people who are making it happen. Zach, what's new?
Yeah, for people making it happen. And look, we got a great show today. For everyone who's wondering and might be new to the show, we will be covering our 4 core segments again. That is 1, tech report and news updates, AI intervention, SaaS sales, and thoughts and philosophizing on leadership, which we love to do. So stick around for all 4 segments. And as always, Branson, we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock for each segment so that we don't get too sidetracked and because everyone has a life that they have to get to.
Yeah, and I can see that we're really getting things dialed in. All the segments dialed in, everything's dialed really nicely.
It kind of reminds me of something there. I'm kind of thinking that there's something that comes to mind when you say dialed systems. What?
Is it my new business venture? Dialed Systems?
It sure is. It sure is. This is an exciting new business venture for Branson,
Yes.
and this is our first sponsorship for Ridiculously Professional. So thank you, Dialed Systems.
Yes.
Branson, why don't you take the floor for like 30 seconds? Tell the world what you're working on.
100%. So I've noticed a lot of companies that are diving into automation, AI without really checking out their systems and to see if they're in a good place, if they even need AI, or if they're going to put automation in and it's going to just all fall apart. So I created Dialed Systems, which is fractional revenue architecture mixed with AI consulting for growth stage companies. So I help sales teams and founders dial in their systems to see if they're AI ready. And if they are, help somebody just recently with a AI BDR, well, SDR. It's pretty amazing. Help people out, figure out if they need AI or if it's better to have the humans do the job. And then we go from there.
Love it. Let's check out that mug one more time with Dialed Systems. I love the name. I love the concept, Branson. Best of luck on the business venture. You're already crushing it according to what we've been talking about. If you're a growth stage company looking to streamline your revenue machine and introduce AI to your systems, you've got to hit up Mr. Branson Murphey. You will be in great hands. And I hear you might even get a mug with Dialed In Systems on it.
If you send me a message in the next couple of days, mug for you.
You hear that? Everybody in America gets a mug. Branson Murphey said it.
You get a mug, and you get a mug. We're Oprah all in this one. Perfect.
Well, love it. Thank you for the sponsorship. I'm sure that is the first of many.
Yes.
And let's get back to the show.
So, Zach, do you think it's time? I think it's time.
I think it's time. You think
it's
time?
I'm thinking it's time. It's time for
the Tech Report.
Tech Report.
This is my favorite one. Branson, let's put 5 minutes on the clock and let's get people up to date on what is going on in the world of technology. Grab your coffee. Here we go. We have some fun, exciting stories for you today. Starting off with story number 1, Branson, we're going with marrying tradition and innovation. We're going to talk a little bit how Wimbledon's partnership with IBM is kind of pushing the boundaries of AI in sports. And as we'll get into this next story, how sports is kind of pushing the boundaries of how we look at business. But first, just a little context on Wimbledon. It is one of sports' oldest tournaments, and the Wimbledon Championship of Tennis just entered its 148th year of play, but its first year of full AI adoption for line judging. So we are actually talking replacing human line judges and using AI to see where that little tennis ball lands. Now, the organization that runs Wimbledon, the All England Lawn and Tennis Croquet Club, has partnered with IBM to use AI-powered electronic line calling systems, ELCs, not just at center court, Branson, because they've used that in the past and actually for a long time, but at all 18 championship courts. So that's kind of crazy. That's like a first of its time here.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen AI being adopted by, other sports organizations. Like, for example, we've seen the MLB use it earlier in spring training this year. They used it for 60% of their games to call balls and strikes. Soccer has actually been using AI for a while with VAR, which kind of judges like offsides and other decision making. And the International Gymnastics Federation has partnered with Fujitsu to develop the judging support system, which also assists judges with scoring. So it's not something new to sports. But for a major event like Wimbledon to introduce AI and replace humans across all 18 courts in the tournament, kind of a big deal. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, especially because it is an old style institution, having them updating, that's pretty crazy. I think personally, I mean, I like the where it's not perfect, you know? I like getting angry at judges. I like that. That's what adds the drama to it. I don't know that I want it to be perfect call every single time. I don't know. We'll see how that runs.
There is something really nice about like a judge or an umpire who is kind of controlling the flow of the game, controlling
Yeah.
the flow of the calls. That is very traditional to sports. But to your point, and kind of in conclusion, the AI adoption actually didn't go perfectly. So one, they also used AI for the chatbot inside the app at Wimbledon, which allowed fans to kind of like engage with the chatbot, ask questions about what was going on in real time, and also give insights into like data and analytics and predictive like who's going to win this match. They also used AI in the food court, and the AI was accidentally charging like $30 for water bottles when they were supposed to be 7. There were mistakes made. In fact, American Taylor Fritz, one of his serves was called out, even though it was in by 4 feet. What happened on that one, Branson, is the ball boy was still moving around, and the ELC system like picked up the ball boy, and it kind of like messed up its lines. Also, and I've been practicing this name, Branson, one of Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova's, that's a tough one. We've been practicing that. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova's loss was due to a couple missed calls. But here's what's funny, is that it wasn't the AI's fault. The judge had actually forgotten to turn on the ELC for that particular moment in the match. So what we're seeing is kind of like what we're seeing in every industry using AI, which is the purpose of this story, is people are figuring out how to use it, how to adopt it, when to turn it on, when to turn it off.
Yep.
Wimbledon did not go perfectly with AI, but as we move into the future, we're going to see more and more adoption, and Wimbledon is just serving as the example for that across the board.
What's the next story?
For moving on the sake of time,
Yeah.
this is actually a really interesting one, and we got to talk about this because we are introducing the concept of acqui-hiring. That is an H in the middle of there. That is the word acquired mixed in with the word acqui-hiring. So acqui-hiring. Actually, this is big tech's new recruitment approach to the talent wars. So last week, Branson, we talked a little bit about the POS wars, which was Square versus Toast. But the bigger war going on right now is really the talent wars, and that's big tech's attempt to recruit like top talent in the industry.
Yep.
On the note of sports, we're actually seeing a little bit of an adoption to the way that sports recruitment and contracts work, being now coming into like the corporate tech world. So what I mean by this is that essentially, like, look at what Zuckerberg was doing with OpenAI employees who jumped ship. He was offering like $100 million sign-on bonus. Like, we're seeing Shohei Ohtani level contracts out there for your average tech worker.
That's our timer, but we keep running.
We are almost done with reports. We'll kind of dive into it. To provide the details of this acquiring story, though, basically, OpenAI attempted to acquire Windsurf, which is an AI-first software development startup, for $3 billion, but the deal died. So in full kind of like Red Auerbach style dynasty building on the note of sports, Google swoops in and recruits the executives at Windsurf in a $2.4 billion, that is billion, Branson, deal, including licensing fees and compensation. So we're kind of talking cutthroat approaches to recruitment here, right? Then Cognition slides in through the back door and actually acquires the IP of Windsurf. So kind of a crazy deal across the board. This is the corporate drama we live for, right?
Oh, yeah. And also, it's given us a tee up because realistically, I want Ballers, but Tech Edition. So people always tell me I look like The Rock. I think that we could do a whole show just like it.
Wait, that was perfect because Ballers but Tech Edition could be like the headline to this, because that's exactly what this is. This is a whole new way of looking at bringing on talent into the world.
That's like, what I'm saying.
We're not talking resumes. We're not talking, what's your experience? We're talking, what company have you created that we can swallow, eat up, and then also take the talent on? So in conclusion to this story, and a little shout out to everyone out there who's trying to find their way into big tech, it's actually not your experience that could get you into it. It's not your education. It could be the company that you create that a big tech is interested in acquiring. So big storyline. We are changing the game with the way that big tech is finding talent.
Well, and I think you just actually highlighted one of the reasons that we do this show overall is to get people to think differently in this new world that we have. Things might not work how they used to, and we're helping people get ahead. And that's why this show is for the people that are doing it and they want to see things differently. Is check that out. Look, the whole world is changing on that side. You might be able to get into something that you never even thought was possible.
Exactly. And it's never been easier to create a business than it is today, and to create an MVP and get a marketing
Yes.
campaign going and to get client acquisition going. It is literally more possible than it's ever been. So we challenge everyone to be creative. Think of an idea and pursue it.
Well, I mean, I know that everybody's waiting for us to talk about, a certain CEO that was at a certain concert with their HR person, but I think that everybody else is already talking about that. I see it all over Reddit, so I think that we probably could just hop into the next section unless you want to go back to it.
You know what? For anyone wondering what the heck Branson is even talking about here, just look up CEO and HR chief of astronomer who were caught kind of like cuddle standing in a Coldplay concert. It is making the LinkedIn world right now. By the time this show comes out, we're probably going to be like a week after that has
Oh, yeah.
happened. But like, it's pretty funny. I don't think it's our vibe to dive too deep into stories like that. But I will leave tech news with one last cool story, which we've got ChatGPT just launched Agent. So it's combining ChatGPT Operator with ChatGPT Deep Research, and this is kind of setting the stage for a true agentic offering from OpenAI.
Oh, it's huge.
So a lot more things coming there. I doubt it will work perfectly. There's obviously a lot of AI hype right now,
Yep.
and not necessarily the best usage of it across the board, but we're figuring it out. We're kind of in the era of figuring this out. And on the note of AI, Branson, everyone needs to chill with those AI tells. You know what I'm
Oh, yeah.
saying? We're
Yeah.
going to jump into AI intervention. Let's put 5 minutes on the clock and talk about how you can be a little bit smarter with your use of AI.
Yeah. You know what grinds my gears, Zach? Last week you talked about what grinds your gears.
What
You know what
grinds your
really
gears?
grinds my gears
What grinds your gears?
is, as both of us people who read lots of LinkedIn posts, get inbound DMs constantly, and sending message. I think people that are on the other side, I can't stand it when it's obvious that the person put 4 seconds into an AI. They just chat GPT'd, write me an email. They spend no time. You can see it right off the bat. You're like, this is an AI email. This is an AI message. Kills me because also, you know, we've been doing this for a good amount of time. There's a certain craft to sending your outbounds and getting people, really into it. And to me, it's just lazy.
It's the worst.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's the absolute worst, and I feel like it also shows a lot of tales of, like, people who just rely on AI off the bat instead of giving AI good data from, like, your own creativity and then asking to just clean it up. Those are always so easy to tell, and there's one thing that really makes it easy to tell if someone's using AI, and what's that?
Oh, yeah, that's the M dash. So it's that little dash that's long. If you see that,
Stop using the M dash, folks. I'm gonna say that loud for the people in the back.
I don't even care. I see people all the time. They're like, I used it all the time before this. Cool. You don't use it anymore. That's just how it works now. It doesn't matter if it's part of our regular. Just so I go back to this too, the reason that we're throwing these pieces out is because I think subconsciously it stops people. They see those dashes, they know it's AI, they think that it's lazy, and then they just move on to the next thing. So this is why we're telling people, get rid of the M dash. If you see it, either tell ChatGPT or your AI to get rid of it, or just go and delete it yourself every instance.
100%, 100%. It's also like brings up that crazy concept of like, why does if someone knows that any type of content is generated with AI, it feels like right now that people are having like a natural like inclination to not be about that particular piece of content because it looks so AI generated. But what went into actually generating that content, which maybe had some help from AI, could be a lot more than we realize. But again, the credibility just kind of drops when people are like, "Oh, that there's a bunch of M dashes in it. I don't believe in whatever. I'm not gonna enjoy what I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna completely
Yeah.
count it out."
They shut it down immediately. It reminds me of like in art, even if you stencil, if you tell people you're stenciling, people have a problem with it. Like same sort of thing. Like use it as a tool, get rid of these things afterwards. The next massive one, emojis. I get it. They make things fun. Except for you can always tell when there's just a ton of emojis, especially I know then people got slick, they started getting rid of the regular ones and they started putting in, those little blue diamonds. And then the little, it's like a, I don't know, it's arrow with a little bracket on it. Just use, this is a little throw out to everybody. You can just use Unicode bullet points. Go look it up on Google. Unicode bullet points, put that in. We're going to go back to the old school and just make it look like a regular message.
What happened to the good old fashioned bullet point? Like that is a timeless classic. Like what we got brainwashed by the rocket ship or the sales trend emoji that ChatGPT loves to use. You know,
Yeah.
when someone's riding that blue roller coaster, we're gonna put the emoji on the screen right now. When someone is riding that blue roller coaster, it's just like, yeah, this person was in chat a lot for whatever.
So the next piece that I see a lot of buzzwords, you can tell your chat GPT to get rid of it. I know that if you're on LinkedIn or if you're in, the tech world or wherever, everybody uses buzzwords and acronyms, but you got to chill on them. I can't stand seeing game changing. I see it over and over and over again. Like there's a bunch, you gotta get those. If you go read your stuff, make sure it doesn't sound like a pitch deck. And the other thing that kind of goes exactly same with that is like the real winners aren't doing this. They're reinventing the rules. This isn't doing this. It's doing this. Get rid of those lines. Just say what happened. Be direct. Get your message across.
I love that. There's a lot of like motivational LinkedIn slop on LinkedIn. And obviously right now, a lot of it is getting generated by LLMs for this content. And it's such a great point. Like, if you have something to say, just say it. Like, get to the point. I don't know. Got to give a little shout out to Malcolm Gladwell. He's one of my favorite authors.
Yeah.
David vs. Goliath. God, I've read all of them, but now I'm like blanking. What is it? Breaking Point?
Outliers.
Yeah, that was another great one. But his whole like philosophy to writing is that you say your main piece first and then use the rest of it for like premises to prove that main point.
Yeah.
I think we could all learn a lesson from that, especially when we're posting on LinkedIn. Like just say what you need to say. Make it clear. Don't add in all this fluff.
Yeah, it's 100% about adapting to the times. Things are changing. You got to adapt. I think you know something about adapting in sales. Is that like it's a big thing for you?
Yeah, I want to get kind of real on this one too.
Okay.
Like, not that we are never not real. We're very real, especially when it comes to this conversation that we have here. But I think there's kind of this thing happening in SaaS right now that's definitely affecting sellers, but affecting a bunch of people across the board. Like, we've seen Microsoft recently do a round of layoffs and completely replace people with AI. Heck, we were just talking about team courts that no longer have judges at Wimbledon because of, the ELC AI system in Hawkeye. So there's kind of like this world to adapt to, and it's largely due to AI causing displacement.
Okay.
Now, the key word is displacement. I think when people dive down that road of like AI is replacing or AI is taking over, I think it's a little bit like, it's a little too much. Like, let's calm this down a little bit. There's been multiple situations throughout history in which tech has caused displacement. And what I kind of mean by displacement is like, there's going to be there will be opportunities dying, but there will be new opportunities opening up due to AI. Now, the other kind of reason why there's a situation to adapt to in the first place is companies are playing in a sandbox, Branson, a sandbox of go-to-market tech right now, with tools like Clay, Vector, RB2B, Instantly, Warmly, like the list goes on and on. Everyone's way too preoccupied by kind of building sandcastles in the sandbox, right? Instead of inviting more people to join them and build sandcastles with them. So I think there's kind of this like hiring freeze going on right now where there's not as many opportunities because people are trying to figure out how efficient they can be with the new AI tools. But I do think that is going to come to an end. But the effect that these things happening have on the market right now is that jobs aren't getting destroyed. Again, displacement. They are getting rearranged. And my advice to everyone out there is something that Branson has actually told me is chase the cheese. Right? Like, find out where the new cheese is going. Branson, real quick, what's the book? Let's shout out that book real quick.
Who Moved My Cheese? It's a classic.
Give a quick, like 10, 20-second pitch on what that book is about for everyone, because people really need to read it.
Who Moved My Cheese is, you know what? I actually had a manager that made me read it multiple times early on. And Who Moved My Cheese is a book that talks about I'm just going to throw out there's mice and there's humans in this maze, and it talks about the fact that when you find the cheese, you need to be looking for the next cheese. Basically, you always need to be moving because at some point in time, something's gonna end up going away, and if you don't start looking for the next thing and the next opportunity, then what might happen is the cheese runs out, you're fat and totally laying out, can't go look anymore. You got to be looking. Once you find whatever your thing is, you got to be moving to the next thing, and this is exactly what we think AI and all this is.
Yeah, don't go belly up. Do not go belly up. Do
Yes.
not be those people who are saying like, oh, jobs are getting destroyed due to AI. No,
Yes.
displacement has been a factor in the economy since the economy was ever even around. You know what I mean? Like even back to the days of markets and ancient, in ancient markets where textiles were being traded. Like there's always new technology being presented to markets. Don't look at that as something that is to fear. Embrace it. Learn the new skills to survive.
Yes.
It's pretty simple. Now, so what are your options, right? If you're maybe a little bit scared, maybe you aren't smelling the cheese and you don't know what direction to go, follow that dream you've had. I'm going to be so
Yes.
cliche, but we said it earlier. It has never been easier to start a business than it is today. So if you have an idea, go to like bolt.new, create an MVP for the product, create a quick go-to-market plan. There's all these tools to do that and see if you can build something. Like I don't think any company should be built on the infrastructure of AI, like in the beginning. Like it should be
No.
built on solid processes and real script written by engineers. But to get ideas going, there's the tools out there right there to get MVPs. It's like, like go learn.
You have everything on YouTube too to throw with that. Like if you don't know where it is, you can go to YouTube. You'll find cool videos like Ridiculously Professional, where we're actually giving game right now to show you. And we'll talk about all this stuff. If you keep watching all the episodes, we'll show you exactly how to get those next steps, but just keep moving.
That's what this show is all about. Yeah, tune in. Nice subtle shout out right there
like
for
that?
the show, dude. I really do like that. I really do like that. Now, on the note of like, even if you're not the person who's going to go out there and maybe start a company, guess what? There's a lot of people who will, and guess what? There's a lot of people who already are. I've already seen like, I feel like 18-year-olds are the new like age for your average CEO in 2025.
100%.
There's so many kids getting out of high school who are using AI to build legitimate ideas and selling those ideas to larger tech companies. So if you're not the person who feels like, maybe you're a little risk adverse and you don't want to do that, guess what? The cold winter will get warm again. And after all these new companies start, which maybe in the first episode of Ridiculously Professional, we were calling out like there's going to be a lot more companies that are smaller. They're going to need salespeople and engineers and CSMs to push these new products. So I do think opportunity will open up again. And lastly, never stop applying. Just like in sales, it could take that one email, that one LinkedIn outreach to a hiring manager, just that one opportunity to completely change your life. So things are cold right now. We understand that, but there's opportunities. We're trying to share what we're seeing to help out, what some things that we're doing to help out. Either stick it out, start a company, or just keep on applying, and everything will be okay. I promise.
Yes. Keep learning. Wow, that was perfect timing.
Yeah, was that on the dot?
That was right on the dot with the timer.
I went a little bit over with the tech news segment.
Oh my gosh,
so I felt like I needed to keep that one sharp. But this takes us, Branson, lead the way here. We love at the end. Let's give a quick shout out for everyone listening. Hey, if you're enjoying the show, please tell us what you like about it. Like, comment, follow us on LinkedIn, subscribe to us on YouTube. We really appreciate it. It helps us grow this thing. But we want to hear from you guys too. Like if you guys have ideas what we're saying, if you think, Branson's beard is uneven on the left side than it is on the right side, we want to hear about it. By the way, Branson, it looks great.
I don't really want to hear about it.
Well, you know what? I do.
100%.
But that brings us to our last segment. Take it away. Thoughts on leadership.
So in leadership, I think it's crucial that like all high performers and leaders are constantly evolving. That's why we talk about all these pieces that we have on the show. I think that books are a great way to get there. We've talked about several just on this so far. But this week, I want to talk about a book that I read just a little bit ago and I posted on LinkedIn that I can can really help out a lot of people with their leadership and help members of their team. And the book is called Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. It's about your inner game and getting your inner world put together correctly. And I think that that's a huge thing that people overlook is, always trying to do outside things. What can I do for this? What can I do for this? But then it kind of starts on the inside. So there's a lot of sports players and other high performers use this book as a source of truth. We saw it in the Super Bowl just recently.
Literally.
It was
Literally.
being read on the sidelines. So here are some of the key concepts. I'll throw it out here. Definitely should read the book too. Detach from outcomes. You got to we talk about this. We've talked about it almost every single show. You got to focus on the process, not the scoreboard. You lead better when you're not gripping to the results too tightly. You just go out there, put everything out on the field. What happens, happens. Run from that. There's power in stillness. So a calm mind sees clarity. Most mistakes happen when we rush. I actually started doing this pretty heavy with like morning, meditation, just get everything slowed down. I know we live in a super fast world and people feel like because AI and all this is happening that they're behind. You're going to get even more behind if you just don't slow down and look at the pieces you have.
100%.
Leading with purpose, not pressure. This is, fear and ego are not things to lead with. A purpose helps you loosen that and your team can feel the difference. So I know that a lot of leaders grew up in a time when fear and controlling was the way to lead. And we're moving out of that because you want people to want to be working with you and want to be building with you and doing all, whatever, you want them moving with you. So lead with purpose. That's the way to go, not manipulation and fear. Trust overall control. Trying to control everything drains energy. So high performers learn to trust their training and their decisions. I think this is another huge one. A lot of times people try to control every single element when you really should get good with being able to handle what happens afterwards because we literally can't control everything. I mean, that's life. So being able to turn over control, and freedom is a real goal. Freedom doesn't mean having problems. It means not needing everything to go your way to show up at your best. I think that that's a huge, a lot of people I think freedom means having zero responsibility. I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's being able to handle responsibility and be able to take it on more and more. So that's my pieces from this book. There's a lot more about, being collaborative instead of competitive. I think that everybody should check it out.
100%. And cue Braveheart freedom scream right now.
Yeah.
No, honestly, when you sent this over for the thoughts on leadership section, I was reading through these key concepts, and I was just like, dang, like that really hits it on the note. I think that it's easy to, look at some of these things and maybe say like, oh, that's cliche or whatever. But if you really look into yourself, like we all make these mistakes of not doing some of these things. So I think Inner Excellence and Jim Murphy does a really good job of just like making those simple concepts and just like giving you a gentle reminder of how you should be looking at things. And it's a solid book. Everyone needs to check it out. I think it should be like a must read for anybody who is in a leadership position.
Yes.
Because first you have to figure those things out yourself.
Yes.
And then you can help lead people. If you can't do that yourself, how can you lead a team to, these outcomes and not creating a bad environment, right?
This is a concept that you always talk about too, is things starting from the top and trickling down overall. You got to be the one that sets the example for the things that you're expecting with the people that you're leading. This is why I talk about reading books, because if you want your team to get better, you need to be getting better too. So I think that it all goes hand in hand.
And I think a lot of people out there don't, Branson. I think a lot of people in leadership positions don't do that. And it's too bad. Leadership has maybe felt like a social clique that you've reached.
Yes.
Now you've made it. I feel like if you ever get to that point where you've had like I've made it phase, that's a problem. That's a problem.
We talked about that like in the last one, that lead singer's disease of like, it shouldn't be like a goal to become a leader. Like it should be that it's something that you've built your life up enough that you are able to handle all these tasks and you're able to understand that you're responsible for a lot of other people. And I think that it shouldn't be, that goes back to the egoic piece. It shouldn't be egoic that I'm the leader now. It should be like, oh man, I'm the leader now. I got to handle it. it's another task for me to work.
And that's exactly why we have been changing our motto to the show to it's not for people who've made it, it's for people making it happen every single day. And if you resonate with that, you are in the right place. This show is for you, and we will keep coming at you with this content over and over again till y'all like, comment, and subscribe and help us grow it to reach more people.
All the things that we do, we're letting you know, here's what's working for us, here's what isn't. We're hoping to lead by example and then have other people that hop in with us that are also doing the same.
Exactly. We're not by any means preaching from the top. We're in the trenches every single day, figuring this out together and having a conversation with you all about this. So we'd love to hear from you. Let us know. Branson, I think that wraps up another episode of Ridiculously Professional.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Before we go, big thanks to our sponsor, Dialed Systems, helping growth stage companies clean up their revenue systems and get ready for the real AI integration. And as always, I need to shout out my company, WaveRes, that I work for, the platform that helps marine tourism operators book more and stress less.
And if you watch our show, you see that we always show our mugs with our sponsors. If you got a cool mug, send us an email, send us a DM. We'd love to work with anybody that's in alignment, emerging AI, sales leaders, new tech. Shoot us a message and we'll get you guys on the next show.
You can find us through our new website. Like Branson said, DM us on LinkedIn or just email us directly.
If something hit for you today, share it, post it, send it to somebody who is trying to level up.
We'll be back next week with tech news, AI takes, sales strategy, and leadership takes for the next generation.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Peace.